Man, this is slow. You can see how the electric buses come over this hill. At the speed. This bus right here is moving like the old trucks. The 1960s. The old sugarcane trucks moved at that speed. Anyway, greetings all. Greetings. Normally you don't go walking this time of the day, but it is cool. Seriously cool here in Barbados. And last night it was cold. I would say about 50 degrees. And with the wind chill, it might have been colder outside. But things are changing, so we have to expect that. We have to adjust to the earth, to our surroundings. It doesn't have to adjust to us. I've shown you before where houses built here and 10 years later the house is being taken over by the bush and trees and all that around it. Even our house that was built around 2000 and was lived in up to 2019. About 2019 or 20. When I returned to Gambia the last time. 2020, yeah. When I returned to Gambia the last time. The amount of repairs that we have to do on it now is surprising even to me. But you have to maintain it. That's the way it is, you know. You don't maintain it, the earth will reclaim it. Welcome to the Gambia. Well, Africa, they do like that in Nigeria too. Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania. Everywhere in Africa, people drive motorcycles like that. Luckily for him, the roads are not like Africa. Because the roads there are sand. So if you have to stop in a case like that, there's no stopping. I haven't uploaded a video for quite some time. And actually, I thought about uploading a few, but after I reconsidered them, I know that you guys already know what's going on and the outcomes of what you see and happening. At least I hope so. If you've been really paying attention to what I've shown you, because all I'm doing is showing you what's going on around the world. You may not have the time to sit down and look at it in a way that I am looking at it, because we all see things in a different manner, you know. We all have a plan and attempt to make the world work according to our plan. Sometimes it doesn't work, but being stubborn as we are as people, we will continue to fight until, I don't know, it kills us, you know. Well, not us, but some of us. Some of us will continue to fight until we can no longer fight. And on some occasions, that is practical, you know. It's practical if you have a car that you want to repair, that you seek out the fault. Only when you see that it's not worth repairing will you stop. And some people will continue to spend more money on the car than they pay for it in order to repair it. But we all have a plan. Hopefully it works out. But I'm hoping that most of you are going to, instead of having this focused view, focus in one specific direction only. You know, it's like putting blinders on a racehorse. You want to keep that horse looking straight ahead. See how fast that electric bus came over the hill? Going way faster than the other bus. Anyway, and this one. In the afternoon about this time, the buses are picking up children from all the secondary schools in Barbados. Secondary is what is like high school. In the US and other areas of the world that has a school system similar to the US. You know, you might live in Kenya and you're seeing what's going on in Kenya and not really realize that the same thing is happening in Gambia on the opposite side of Africa. And something different is happening in South Africa that includes what's going on in Kenya and what's going on in Gambia with additions. There's some additional events going on in South Africa that is not happening in West Africa or East Africa. That's why I make videos. Additionally, there's history. And in our case, well, we are repeating we are at a phase in history that is coming down to that 180-degree mark. It's like the pendulum in a clock that swings, and it's just about to move back from either the 3 o'clock position or the 9 o'clock position. And the Earth now and our solar system moves into what can be called the fall to winter, or from dry to rainy season. The disruption to all who live on all the planets will be surprising to many. We've been told there's no life on the other planet, so that's the choice that you have to make. Just remember that nothing in our solar system is dead. Nothing. Everything is living material. Everything. If it wasn't alive, then there will be nothing alive in the solar system. Because we are alive. All we are is energy being transformed. Just energy. We take in vitamins, minerals, and proteins and all that. Use it, or some of it. We transform it. Our bodies transform it. Then we put it out, whether the atmosphere or into the ground, and some other life form picks it up and further processes it. Before that life form also passes it on to other life forms. And if we pass on dead materials to the other life form, they couldn't survive. And if the earth passed on dead materials to us, we wouldn't be alive. So let no one fool you. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying your day. Watching the events as they pass. Don't be fearful, just be watchful. And as you see events taking place, just adjust your trajectory, your planning, your actions accordingly, especially when it comes to Africa. There's something happening in Africa that people are not paying attention to, and that France and Germany and Britain are taking some actions which good evening. People are mistaking for other for something else that is not. Let me give you an example of that. They're saying, I've heard the other day a tanker got a drone hit a tanker off the coast of Senegal, and they were saying that the Ukrainians are responsible. But be careful, because the British are manufacturing the same drones that Ukraine is using. Ukraine factories are being destroyed by the Russians, and they are not able to make the drones. So who's making the drones? The British. Who's paying for the drones? The people that Africans trust. Good evening. The people that Africans trust. Saudis, the Turks, Muslim people, Arabs. But in this case, the people from UAE and Qatar are the financiers of what's going on. The Germans and the Israelis and the French and the British are training what we call the Muslim people who are attacking people in Nigeria and all over West Africa and East Africa too. Some parts of East Africa, it's the Israelis and the British. In West Africa, the Israelis and the French. But the French don't have the money for the operation. So who is financing the operation? That's what you have to ask. Who is financing the operation if the French don't have the money to do it? The EU right now is trying to take Russia's sovereign fund, money from Russia's sovereign fund that was in the EU banks and financial organizations. If they had the money to finance these things, the French would already sent an army into West Africa to overthrow AES. But they don't have the money. So who has the money? The Arab states. But the poor African now, his religious belief blocks his, well, he can't even call that religious belief, is because the Arabs were always, they're like just like the European colonials. The same, then the Crusades that come about. The European had learned from the Muslims and Africans. They didn't start the Crusades for, they told you this is because they went to save Jerusalem for Christian. No. Same thing when slavery started in Africa. It was the Europeans, including the people who transformed themselves into Jews, who ran the slave trade. The Arabs are the ones who brought you from the interior to the coast. And when I say Arabs, I'm talking about the African who had transformed himself. He believed in his Arabic masters. And as a man thinks, so is he. You have to look at it like that. You got some people today, you look around you, you will see in Africa, the leadership, all the military people, enslaving their own country in the name of the French or the British. In Ghana, supposed to be an independent nation, South Africa, independent nation. They have other people's military bases on their land. We all heard Akufo-Addo when he begged the Europeans to come and save Ghana from the so-called terrorists in AES. Just imagine that now. His brother, because Ghanaians and some of the people in AES are relatives, Same thing in Nigeria. The area where you call AES now produced some of the most astute military men in Africa over the last 2,000 years. The Niger Empire, the Ghanaian Empire, Asante people, they're not just one local tribe in Ghana. The Iwe is not just a local tribe in Ghana. The Yorubas, before they became English, it was a warrior people. And the Fulbe or Fuller. The Fuller or Fulbe, or Fulani as they're called in many places, integral part of the Muslim army that took on and destroyed Europe, ruled it. Those are people who traveled all the way from, oh my goodness, let me go. They traveled all the way across Africa, from Ethiopia and Yemen and what we call Iraq, all the way across Africa. They're the ones who picked up the religion of the Arabs and brought it across to West Africa. But with the new master, the British, you got this fight between Yoruba and Fulani in Nigeria. Northern against the southern. But something is happening that eventually is going to force the Africans to join together, because the Europeans coming back, and he's bringing with him the money men that you find in Arabia, the Arab people. Africans are going to have to wake up. We are at the precipice of repeating past history. The people who know what happened in the past will survive and thrive. When this thing is over, they will be the rulers. One of the things that the Europeans are doing now is they're moving in on Africa. And this will change the mindset of many Africans when they begin to see how the European, now that they have this, whatever kind of, whether it be cell phone or news outlet, everybody's be able to see it in real time, how it's being done. Africa's army is going to come out of this. And when the Europeans feel the sting of what that army is going to bring, they will wish that they never started this. But the old people would have died, and the young people will have to pay for their father's foolishness. As many of my guys have told me their father's folly. I hope you're preparing for this time. And this video was not supposed to be talking about things like that today. We were talking about lighthearted things. But anyway, hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are. Peace.